There you go.
Did it?
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Christina. What's your name?
Bailey.
Bailey. Nice to meet you, Bailey.
Nice to meet you.
So tell me a little bit about what brings you here today.
So I'm here because I've been having just some relationship issues with my dad,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not really sure where to go from here, and it's kind of like stressing me out and affecting other areas of my life, I noticed. So
Mm-hmm.
I just want to like be able to work through these problems.
Okay. You mentioned other areas in your life. Kind of.
Hmm.
Can you give me some examples of how it's affecting you?
Yeah, I think just like relationship issues with like roommates or like future, like I'm not dating, but like future relationships. Like I just get kind of worked up in my head because me and my dad don't have a relationship anymore. Like we just recently cut it off, and so I think like all these like thoughts go through my head a lot of the times of like that's how like my future relationship is gonna go. Like men are the same and all that kind of stuff, which I know is like not realistic, but I still like think those thoughts, and it still makes me like anxious. And then like with roommates too, like I just noticed when we are fighting, like me and my dad, before we cut off our relationship, like I would bring that into other relationships too, just like that anger and frustration.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. So then, you said you cut off kind of communication with him or your relationship.
yeah.
Was that a while ago or is it just recent?
It was the last time we have talked was last July.
Last July. Okay.
So, a long time ago.
It's been a long time. So do you
Yeah.
feel it's still impacting you now?
Yeah, I think it is. And
Okay.
I don't know if it's like, because I never really got closure
Mm-hmm.
or what, but basically we just like had one really bad phone call.
Mm-hmm.
And then since then, he like wouldn't answer my phone calls or text messages. And
Mm-hmm.
if he wants to communicate with me, he'll like do it through other people.
Okay.
So like my parents are divorced, but if he wants to communicate with me, he'll like tell my mom to tell me something. So it just like
Mm-hmm.
is really rejecting too. That he
Okay.
doesn't want to like answer me, and then when he
Mm-hmm.
does feel like he wants to talk to me, it's through other people.
Through other people.
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds like you obviously don't like that.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Well, can you tell me a little bit about how that makes you feel? I mean, because just by hearing you say that, I can tell that it bothers you.
Yeah. Um, I think yeah, it makes me feel like rejected or kind of like not wanted,
Mm-hmm.
like that the relationship isn't really worth fighting for,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's upsetting. We've never had like my parents got divorced when I was 6 months old, so me and
Mm-hmm.
him have never had like a solid relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I didn't grow up with him or anything, but like to me in my head, a dad is supposed to like want to be a dad, and
Mm-hmm.
so and he is with my two older brothers. Like he loves my two older brothers a lot and like
Mm-hmm.
puts a lot of effort into those relationships. So I just kind of feel like I'm the like not wanted
Okay.
child in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just like really, I think rejecting is the biggest one, but
Okay.
it like also pisses me off. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had a chance to talk to him about those feelings?
I have not in so many words, but I've just like shared with him that I don't like how our relationship used to be like really up and down. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was good when he wanted it to be good, and then like when he didn't want to talk, we wouldn't. So
Okay.
I've just like told him that the inconsistency wasn't really good,
Mm-hmm.
and then that was kind of when it like stopped.
Okay. So it kind of sounds like it's been like one-sided
Mm-hmm.
for the most part.
Yeah.
And you want it to be, something that, more like a family type of
Yeah.
thing, like a real relationship with your father.
Yeah. He'll like make it out to other people though, like that he really wants a relationship with me, but I'm the
Mm-hmm.
one that's not giving an effort. So that's frustrating too,
Oh,
because
okay.
like he'll tell my grandparents like, oh well, tell Bailey a happy birthday or happy Easter because I haven't talked to her in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I'm trying to reach out to you and you're
Yeah.
not. So it's like, don't tell other people, just call me back because I've
Mm-hmm.
tried calling you. So
Okay.
So then other people are like, "What are you doing, Bailey?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm trying," but nobody like they don't see that, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty frustrating to
Yeah.
try it and then it's not being even validated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, as far as that relationship, and you talked about how that impacts future relationships,
Mhm.
and you're kind of fearful about, how that would look like for you.
Yeah.
So, and then how it impacts your relationships with other people, like your
Mhm.
roommates.
Yeah.
So, what would you like this session to, what do you want to get out of this session? What is it that you would be willing to kind of explore, talk about?
I think just want to like my first focus should be on like solidifying how I feel about him and that relationship, because then I think like if I'm in a good spot with that, I can like I don't think it'll affect
Okay.
the other areas.
So you
as
think
much.
right now, because there's like some unknowns, it's a
Mhm.
barrier for you to really move past it
Yeah.
into other relationships.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about what you've tried in the past, as far as, because it sounds like it's been inconsistent
Yeah.
for the most part.
Mhm.
Have there ever been any good times or any situations or relationships, not situations, but like experiences with him that have been positive?
Um, not a ton. We didn't have a relationship like when I was really, really little, probably like the first 5 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then he finally started like coming around after that. But even then, he would like kind of pop in and then pop out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I never really like built a strong relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then in high school, he would try to do more stuff with me, like,
Mhm.
but it would be like taking me to do stuff that he likes to do. So like we would go
Okay.
golfing and like
Mhm.
do dumb stuff like that I didn't enjoy.
Okay, so
Yeah, but I would do it because I would like try to want to have a relationship with him and put up with it and stuff.
Yeah.
And it made it easier because my brothers would be there too.
Okay.
But then once I moved away for college, because I moved
Mhm.
across the country, we he would call me like once a month and check in on me, but
Mhm.
that was really
Okay.
it.
That was it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that your brothers, that relationship with him has been a bit more positive, right?
Mhm.
Do you have a close relationship with your brother?
Yeah, we're really close.
Okay.
Yeah, I have two older brothers that are his too, and we're all really close.
Okay. Okay. So, and then you also mentioned that that kind of bothers you too, that there's a relationship with him
Mhm.
and your brothers, but then there's none really with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think just because they didn't do anything different. Like we were all raised the same,
Mhm.
but he just like was more attached to them.
Mhm.
And I don't like blame them or anything, but
Mhm.
it's just harder for them to kind of understand where my frustrations come from.
Okay.
So if I ever try to like talk to them about it,
Mhm.
they are understanding and they'll listen, but they don't
Mhm.
get it, because
Okay.
they just haven't had that experience.
Mhm.
So we don't ever try to like push the other, like they don't ever try to push me to have a relationship. They're
Mhm.
respectful, but
Okay.
I don't ever try to like talk negatively about him
Okay.
because I know that they like him.
So then you respect their relationship, and they pretty much kind of, in a way, also do the same with you.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's a positive relationship right there with your
Yeah.
brothers. So
Yeah, it's pretty healthy.
that's good. That's good. So as far as how it's impacting you now, even though you had cut off ties with your dad, July of
Yeah.
last year, it's impacting you now.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been any other changes that kind of recently that might be kind of related to that?
I don't think so. I think I mostly just get frustrated, or like it kind of like comes back up when like Easter was just happened, and
Mm-hmm.
my grandma was out here, his mom, and she said, your dad told me that he wanted to wish you a happy Easter, that he loves you very much, and
Mm-hmm.
that like made me upset because I was like, he has a phone, I have a phone, he could easily have called me and told me that himself, but he's choosing to like put other people in the middle of this, and I feel like we never we never really had a like a closing conversation
Mhm.
of our relationship. It just kind of was like this upset phone call where he got really mad and then like stopped. And now it's like, okay, well, we don't have a relationship anymore because we
Yeah.
haven't talked since
Mhm.
July, and I haven't seen him in 2 years, like in person. So
Okay.
it just kind of like stopped, but
Mhm.
there was never like a, okay, this is stopping, you know? So,
So then, what it sounds like, that you would like to have some closure with
mhm.
that. Are you okay with not having contact with your dad moving forward? I mean, at this point, you haven't had it
Mhm.
really in a while. It's through other people
Yeah.
that you get that. But do you feel like, you would be okay with not having contact with him at all?
Yeah, I think I've like thought a lot about that and made like pros and cons lists about it and stuff. And
Okay.
I do think it's like more healthier for me to not,
Okay.
because I do have a stepdad who like is very much a father figure to me.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like I'm lacking that in my life.
Mhm.
So I think it would be healthier to cut it off.
Mhm.
But then there is like the part of me that's like, well, that's your dad. So is that okay? You know, like, is that acceptable?
Mhm.
But I don't know.
Well, have
Like,
you?
is that socially acceptable? I guess.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it is?
I think it is, but I don't want people to be like,
Mhm.
oh, she's a brat, you know, and
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Like, I don't. It's like hard to explain, but I don't want people to judge me or like think negatively of my decision, even though I know it's what's best for me.
Okay. So you kind of worry about that too,
Yeah.
how other people would take that.
Yeah, or like if my brothers would be upset with me, or
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Hmm. Would you talk about that if you do make that decision? Would you be willing to talk to your brothers about that and kind of explain your side?
Yeah, yeah, we haven't really had like a conversation about that. They just know we haven't talked in a while, but I don't think they really know like how bad it is.
Okay. Would you be willing to? Because I mean, that sounds like that relationship is really important.
Yeah.
That there's a direct connection to your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be willing to maybe talk to them about how you feel and maybe I don't know if their feedback would be any thing of value to you as far as your decision making
Yeah.
for that relationship because
Yeah.
relationships are can be good or they can be bad.
Mm-hmm.
They can be both. So what is it that you want to move forward with? Because it's affecting your life, right?
Yeah.
So what are you willing to do at this point?
Yeah, I think talking to them would probably be good. Because they could probably be like a good sounding board for me, but I just don't. I'm like fearful that they're gonna get upset or like try to tell me I'm wrong for cutting it off,
Mm-hmm.
just because they don't understand
Okay.
as much. But
Have you talked to your mom about any of this?
yeah, she knows everything, but she's not really like a good sounding board because she's so biased because they divorced, so she
Yeah,
doesn't like him.
that's
So
true.
yeah, so if I try to talk to her, she's like, yeah, don't do it, don't have a relationship with him, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, okay, but
Yeah.
so I don't know. She's not really the best
Yeah,
person.
that's true. So
I think my brothers
your
would be a
brothers
good
would be
fit.
the best. Okay. And that doesn't mean that you wouldn't have a relationship with, your grandmother and that side of the
Yeah,
family.
no, it's
It's
just
just that
they all
particular
kind of know he's
person.
crazy. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they get it.
So it wouldn't be like, oh no, that you've decided to do something so, radical
Yeah,
because they kind of know what the situation is.
yeah,
Sounds like.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So what would be a realistic step for you to take then if you're going to move in that direction? What do you think you could, do?
Um, I think talking to my brothers would be the best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to visit one in July in Japan, so I could probably talk to him then. I think
Okay.
an in-person conversation would be the best.
Okay.
And then my other brother lives in Wisconsin, so I'll have to call him.
Okay.
I think, yeah, talking to them about it,
Mm-hmm.
just making it like a final thing would be best. Because if I'm not going to get closure with him, then maybe this would feel more like it.
Mm-hmm. Now, does this mean that this closes the door completely if in the future things change? Because sometimes things do
Yeah.
change.
No, I don't think this will close it for good. I think this is more just like until I, because I don't want to like have kids someday and be like, you can't see your kids because you were mean to me,
Yeah,
10 years ago or whatever.
exactly.
But I think just for now, this is like a temporary, like until there's actual change, we're not having a relationship.
Okay. Okay. So you're setting some really clear boundaries
Mm-hmm.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your feelings about that now that you said it? Like, do you think like it's something that you can do as far
Yeah.
as being that clear and direct?
Yeah, I think I think I could do it. It's just, I just don't know if like, I mean, I haven't told him those are my boundaries, so I don't even, it's like he probably doesn't care, but I know what they are. So I think it's just frustrating that like this is causing me so much stress, and I feel like he just doesn't.
That he's not even aware.
Yeah,
of
he
what
has
he's-
no idea what I'm going through or like what is
Okay.
happening.
So perhaps maybe exploring more so this is for your benefit because it's impacting your life.
Yeah.
Who knows if it's even impacting his?
Yeah.
Right? So as far as your decision then to reach out to your brothers, let them know kind of what you want. What is the feeling that you get at this point that you've made that decision? Do you feel good about it? Do you feel like a little still hesitant?
I feel good in that I can do it, but when it comes to like actually doing it, I like feel anxious about it,
Okay.
just like how they're gonna respond.
Mm-hmm.
I know like at the end of the day they'd still love me and like respect it, but just like actually having to like tell them and say it kind of makes me anxious.
Okay, and that's normal. I mean, this is a big decision,
Yeah,
and it's an important one because it's obviously affecting your life.
yeah.
So, and your brothers can, probably see that too. So, okay. So, as far as your decision and trying to move forward with that, um, say if the situation doesn't turn out, as well as you think with your brothers, what if they, kind of side with him and they're not as receptive to your, needs as far as that? Um, what would that look like for you? Have you thought about, the pros and cons of moving forward with this?
I think I would still definitely move forward with it because I know it's going to be the healthiest thing. I think it would just be really upsetting to know that like I lost a support system in that area. Because even though they're not like gung ho on my team about it, because they do have a good relationship, they are still like, I know they're still there for me in whatever. So I think if it did go poorly, we would just not talk about that anymore when we were together.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't think it would affect our relationship. It would just be like, okay, this is just an area we can't agree on, and that would suck. But
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned before that you kind of do that already, right?
yeah,
Okay.
we do. But yeah, it would just be like weird just knowing like this is something that
Yeah.
they don't agree with a decision I'm making.
Okay. Sometimes those things happen.
Yeah.
It's
true.
But it's feeling good about what you're doing for yourself is important as well. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's you, and you have to take care of those important things in your life.
Yeah.
All right. So now that you've talked about what you want to do, how do you feel about it now?
I feel better. Like this will bring more clarity or just like more closure feeling, I guess.
Okay. And then, of course, that's important to you
Mhm.
because I've heard it. You've mentioned it several times throughout our conversation
Yeah.
that you're seeking that closure.
Yeah.
That you want to have some sort of end result that
Yeah.
kind of signifies, at this point, my life is going to be different from what it is now.
So it's not like this just overarching, like,
Yeah.
what's happening next kind of thing.
Yeah, just being very clear
Yeah.
and kind of that will help you define other areas in your life.
Mhm.
Okay. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
So
sounds
that's a good plan for
good
now.
next step. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So have you thought about when you might, have this conversation? Oh, you mentioned in July with your
brother.
brother,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the other one I think could be probably this next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not gonna see him in person for a while, so.
Okay. And do you have people in your life that, outside of your family or perhaps, friends that will be there to kind of, they know that you're going to do this and can reach
Yeah.
out for support?
Probably my roommates.
Your roommates?
Tell them about
Okay.
My coworkers like to hear this drama too, so tell them about it too.
So
Yeah.
you have people that
Yeah.
are aware of what's going on,
Yeah.
and you can, share with them this experience. This, again, part of it too is feeling validated.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to have people that can understand your side. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not just something that you're coming up with to do just because.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, well, thank you for coming in. I hope this was beneficial to you.
It was. This
All
was
right.
great.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Oh,